All right, cool. So we're going to be live streaming this on our YouTube channel. It's going to be the Top Producers Nation YouTube channel, though, not Tampa Bay Real Producers, just to let you know. All right, cool. So we're going to be live streaming this on our YouTube channel. It's going to be the Top Producers Nation YouTube. Let me mute that. All right. Can you hear me, Janina?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to start our recording. And then I'm sorry, you asked me, can I see what?
Um, are you already starting to record?
No, not yet.
Okay. The whiteboard behind me, you can't see it because that's actually confidential information. So I need to.
No, no, I
Okay.
can't see it. Now I also have bad eyes, but no, I can't. I can't read anything on there. All right, let me go ahead and start us up here. All right, guys. Well, thank you for those of you who have been hanging on as we've been getting our tech challenges ironed out, and we are ready to rock and roll with none other than Janina Wozniak, the rock star herself, with Future Home Realty. Some of you, if you are following us at all locally here in Tampa Bay with our Tampa Bay Real Producers events and program, might have met Janina over the years because she's been one of the more active agents, I would say, in terms of her support for our Tampa Bay Real Producers community on a local level. I've gotten to know Janina and her husband Tom well at many of our events now over the last few years, and it's been a pleasure to be able to get to know them and always appreciate your guys' support of what we do on a local level. Janina, when I think about some of the hardest working real estate agents in our local market, Janina is one of the first names, if not the first name, that pops in my head as an agent who is consistently doing over 100 deals a year as an individual producer. I know she would tell you that she's looking to grow a team eventually and maybe scale that a little bit differently, but her numbers have spoken for herself. She's does over $20 million a year in annual business, and really just does it what some would call the hard way by having a lot of volume, a lot of transactions, and really that means serving a lot of people and serving a lot of different types of clients. And so our topic today that we're diving into for this training call is actually called making personal connections. So if you're an agent who is doing nearly as many deals as Janina is, your ability to connect and do it quickly, but with true authenticity, is going to be really important if you're going to be working with as many people as Janina does on a regular basis. And so if you would like to hear more about like Janina's background, just go ahead and check out our podcast. We did have Janina on the show months ago, and you can search her name on our podcast channel, and you'll be able to get more of the backstory, which is also a very powerful and inspirational story, really, with how Janina has gotten to where she is today. But it's good to have you here on the call, Janina. Excited to dive in with you.
Thank you so much for the introduction. As Don said, my name is Janina Wozniak. I'm an agent with Future Home Realty. I'm actually bilingual in Polish. So for the Polish community, my name in Polish would be pronounced Janina Wozniak.
That's right. All of our Polish followers out there are thrilled as we speak right now. So, all right, Janina, we're going to dive right into our content, which is called Making Personal Connections. And I know that recently we had Janina do a presentation at one of our elite agent masterminds, which we hold monthly here in Tampa Bay. And she did a great job presenting a similar topic to this. In fact, she used like a personality test that I'm sure she's going to reference during that meeting, and everybody who was there as part of the mastermind actually participated in that. And as a former educator herself, she had a lot of different insights she can share revolving around that. So I'll let you kind of jump in here and start with whatever direction you want about the importance of personal connections, the role you think this has played in your success so far.
It sounds like a plan. So it's important to kind of know a little bit about my background. Being a realtor is a second career for me. My first career, I was a high school math teacher in the state of New Jersey, and I absolutely loved it. I actually thought I was going to retire from education. So once a teacher, always a teacher. And so when I was an educator, one of the very good workshop topics, because we also had to do CE credits and things like that to maintain our license as educators, was I was introduced to a personality test, which was um, four colors: green, gold, blue, and orange. And all the educators had to take a personality test to kind of see how we fit in and how our students fill in and how we can best serve our students. Um, so there is there's plenty of free personality tests that you can take online. There's a very short one that you can take later. I will reference the website. It's my dash personality dash test.com/true dash colors, with colors being spelled COLOURS.
I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat for
Perfect.
everyone so they can save this link. This is the link you sent me, Janina.
Yes.
So if you guys wanted to grab that link that is in the chat right now and save that and use it for later, feel free to do so. I
It,
also do have the handout you emailed me, so just let me know when you want me to share my screen and we can go through that, Janina.
all right, sounds good. So every person has fits into one of these four colors, and it's important to know how you kind of what you are, and um, because it really does impact on how you work with others. So for example, for my blue personalities, the blue personality, the strengths of people who are blue personalities, they are your empaths. They value, their strengths are authenticity, they value compassion, sympathy, rapport with people. So those are what I refer to as nurturers. That's actually very high on what I am on my personality list. My other very strong personality list is actually gold. So I'm a gold personality, which means duty. I enjoy responsibility, dependability, accountability. Your gold buyers or your gold clients are very, uh, I mean, they're dutiful. They like to follow rules. Your green personalities, and thank you, Don, for pulling that up. Your green personalities are the ones who value knowledge. They want the answers. They want the intelligence behind it. They want the explanations. So when you're out in the real estate world with buyers who are your green personalities, a lot of times I find my cash investor clients to be the green personalities. They want to know, how much can I buy this for? How much can I resell this for once I rehab the property? Or give me the numbers. They want to see the logic behind it. They don't care about the emotions behind it. They want to know, do the numbers work? So it's really important to be able to adjust your personality to service the client that you are helping, but be authentic to yourself. Your orange personalities, they're the ones who are full of great ideas. They're inventors. Their strengths are skillfulness, so they value grace, finesse, charisma. They're the ones who need to move around to experience things. Going back to my years as an educator, a lot of my students are orange personalities. Ironically enough, a lot of agents are actually orange personalities are well. They're able to connect really well with people. They have a lot of charisma, and they enjoy talking to people and going out and seeing the world and out in the field. But it's also really important to be able to harness that energy so you can actually get to the closed sale.
Yeah, and I think what's neat about this, there's a couple things that came to mind as you're going through this. So you mentioned the importance of kind of knowing yourself first, right? Knowing what
100%.
you are going to thrive towards. And like you said, there's a ton of different personality tests out there. This is one example of one that does give you some great insights, and you can take it for free at that link that we posted in the chat. It's always, I think, a good step in the right direction to get a little bit more information and to be more aware of your own, strengths and not necessarily weaknesses, but just, how you're what your DNA is like, right? How you're hardwired, and your ability to connect. And then you mentioned obviously knowing you have different types of clients that fit into all four of these different colors here. So I'm curious, like from a practical use case, like how do you utilize this information or even this test in your day-to-day business? Like, do you actually have clients fill this out ever, or do you just are you like now because of your experience, you know what traits and where they fit based on conversations? How does that play a role in your business?
I don't have clients take a personality test. I did when I was teaching. I did have my students take a personality test, so I got to know them better. But
Mhm.
now, as a full-time agent since 2014, I consider myself having a very good understanding of people with a very short conversation with them, and how to best approach them. Again, for my investor clients, they want to know numbers. They are very just logical, scientific in nature. So when I'm out showing properties to them, I'm not going to highlight, wow, check out the crown molding. Look how the sunshine fills this home. They don't care about that. They don't care about the emotions that a home elicits. They want to know, do the numbers work for me? While if I'm shopping with first time home buyers, I do need to paint a little bit of that picture for them about, kind of ignore these colors. Yes, these colors in this home are horrendous. Paint is something very easy you can change. So I've always been that very empathetic, nurturing type. I think that's the mom in me, that's the educator in me, and that's really what helps my business tick. And I service a lot of the 55 plus population. I enjoy working with people who are my parents' age, and my parents are now in their late 70s. My dad just turned 80. So I will always tell those buyers, those clients, I'm like, I will take care of you the same way that I would take care of my parents. And I'm genuine about that, so I'm not, I guess the main part is be yourself, be kind first and foremost.
Have you found, just based on your awareness of this particular test and tool and the amount of people now that you've worked with over the years, are you able to quickly identify, like, you know, based on things they're saying or in how they're acting, where they would fit on this spectrum?
For sure. And when I am going to a listing appointment, it's an interview on both sides. I'm interviewing the future client just as much as the client is potentially interviewing me to be their agent. So I have stepped away from business where I'm like, you know what, this is not going to work out. It's a personality match. And I can kind of figure that out right on the spot. Where anything that I would say, where I feel the market is, and I'm like you said, I'm very hyper local. I'm in most of my business revolves around the West Pasco area, so Pasco, Hernando, North Pinellas. Yes, I sell outside of the bubble, but I'm very hyper local, and that's actually what helps me be that successful agent. So when sellers come to me and they're like, well, I think my home is here, and they're kind of like uh, not fighting me every step of the way, but giving just objection over objection over objection. Uh, I don't enjoy drama, so anyone that I feel is going to be too like where we might butt heads a little bit too much or just cause drama. That's oh, I've always shied away from drama. I'm like, I don't need that.
Yeah, no doubt. And so when you're working with the amount of people that you work with, I'm assuming that means that you have to be somewhat proficient in quickly identifying, their personality traits. And whether that would be somebody who you think there could be some drama with, or someone that you could tell right away that you're going to connect really easily with them. And so have you found that, like, you've learned various ways to diffuse, or I guess a better word would be to connect with these different personality traits early. You already talked about the importance of the initial interview and kind of the interviewing set of things, which I don't think that's abnormal, with most agents that are out there. Um, Many of them, I think, probably do some form of a consultation or an interview, but they might do it more, I would say, maybe just by the book or robotically rather than with any sort of intention to connect. Would you agree with that?
Definitely. And experience has a key role to play too. I look back at my early stages as a realtor, and you and I both know that the many agents become agents thinking it's so easy. I mean, we just go show pretty houses and collect a commission check. And I was of that opinion too. So until you're actually in this business, it is definitely a lot harder. Um, than it appears to the general public. The general public thinks what we do is very easy. It is not. And anyone on this call will recognize that no, it's not an easy profession. So, my advice to new agents is stick with it. Get a mentor to help you. So, I mentor new agents coming into the business. In fact, I am working on starting a mentorship with a new agent. And so, new agents don't have a sphere, don't really have business that they can rely on or pass referrals. And so, where do you start? Okay, you're licensed. Now, where do you start? It's important to prospect, and there are lots of free ways to go out and prospect. Host an open house. You don't have business this weekend. What are you doing? Oh, don't make excuses. Go host an open house.
Without a doubt. Yeah, and there really are almost countless different ways for somebody to prospect. I've always found the key is to find the ones that are going to work best for you and then commit to them, right? And following through, not just be hopping around and chasing shiny pennies all the time, because then you never get traction anywhere. Um, I'm curious, and you just mentioned working with new agents as well. When you think about potentially this probably fits more of a newer agent, but it could be really any agent. Um, what is your opinion on like the balance of working with people that you can connect with, where obviously that's the main topic on this particular call is making personal connections and I'm assuming building your business with those through those connections versus just needing commission, needing money, and willing to take business from pretty much anybody at first or at any point just to get some, to get paid and to actually run
Right,
the business.
right.
I'm curious your opinion on like, have you done both? Do you have an opinion one way or the other as to what is the right way to approach it?
When you're a new agent, you are pretty much taking anything that may come your way. And I mean, you'll learn rather quickly on what you excel in or what you like, the types of transactions that you like. For example, there are just strictly listing agents, just strictly buyer's agents, or someone who services first time home buyers. The real estate pie is so big that you will learn rather quickly where you fit in or what gives you the like, yes, I love this feeling that I can do this over and over and over again. Is it without issues? Undoubtedly not. So again, I'm any new agent out there, whatever brokerage you're with, please, please, please get yourself a mentor. Share your commission with that mentor and really learn from seasoned agents who are successful. That's probably my number one biggest advice for new agents.
Yeah, and I hear that a lot from people that are on our podcast as well, the importance that a mentor played in their success many times early in their career. So that's a very, common path and I think wise advice for anybody who's newer, who's looking for somebody that can maybe take things to the next level with them. Um, when you're doing the level of volume that you do, Janina, again, somebody who I think what is it, 5 years in a row now that you've done over 100 deals a year? Is that accurate?
I actually think it's more than 5 years in a row. And ironically enough, I looked up my lifetime production. And like I said, I've been licensed since 2014. And my youngest son was an infant. So I had a medically challenged infant when I got licensed. Any new mom can understand that is a whole other set of issues that you're going to have to work through. Anyway,
What percentage of that business has been built through referrals and is really an organic approach to that level of volume compared to other sources and other ways to be able to scale like that? What's been your experience there?
so I mean, right now I'm now more than 90% of my business is referrals, or people that I meet eyeball to eyeball. My broker always says eyeball to eyeball, and that really does work. I'm not one to cold call. There are some agents who love to cold call and are very successful that way. That's not my cup of tea. So I know that if I sit down with a potential client, if they're willing to buy or willing to sell in the very near future, I will close that client.
So why do you think you're not the first agent that I've ever, interviewed on the podcast or even had on these calls where they are almost 100% referral based, right? And that's been the way that their business has built. But the vast majority of them, if not all of them that I've at least come in contact with, will do maybe like 20, 30, 40. I think unusually maybe you see someone who can do as many as 50 deals a year when they're 100% referral driven, like you are. How do you think you get such a high level of volumes in terms of transactions being so heavily based on referrals?
Oh, wow. That is I don't know how I do it. Sometimes I wonder that myself. And I've had agents tell me, Janina, I don't want to be as busy as you. So I do dedicate 7 days a week into my business. So, I mean, I do have a team behind me. Like, you have your lender partners, you have your title partners. Shout out to Melissa McDeesey from Future Home Realty. She's my realtor associate, helps me a ton in the background, and I'm definitely trying to um, let go of some of the things that I do. And being the type A personality, the gold personality, which goes along with the type A, I have a hard time of letting go. And I know that I need to in order to kind of break into the next level. I've always been very goal driven, very, it's important to have goals. So, like at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year, when you kind of set goals for yourself, you have to reflect and revise so you can meet those goals.
Without a doubt. Melissa is on the call, by the way, so shout out to you, Melissa. And by the way, I know you said you had a whiteboard that you wanted to quickly
Yeah.
review, so we'll
Um,
go into that real quick. If you do have questions, by the way, any of you who are live right now on the call, you could use the chat, and we'll try to address any particular questions that you'd like to throw at Janina as well. But why don't you go ahead and walk us through what you had there on your board?
I will do that in just 30 seconds.
Mhm.
So, one thing, when I do meet new buyers or meet new clients, don't talk about yourself. Let them talk. So one acronym that most of you probably have heard is FROG. Frog means fully relying on God. That I learned when my youngest son was in the NICU, and there was a nurse there who um, said frog, fully relying on God, and that was a very powerful thing. But frog can also mean family, recreation, occupation, and goals. So when you meet with somebody, ask them, use the acronym FROG. Tell me about your family. Tell me about what you like to do, your recreation. Tell me about your occupation, and tell me about your goals. Those things will actually give you a making those personal connections and see what they say and how that might apply to your life. For example, I'm a cancer survivor. So anyone who's ever said, "Oh, I have cancer," that right there is already a connection that you've made. Oh, you're a mom. Great. Oh, you're a pet parent. Me too. I'm a cat person. Used to be a dog person. I love my cat now. His name is Fizbo, by the way.
Oh, that's classic.
All right. So what I did, I do have a whiteboard, and so I am a heavy listing agent. So those of you who want to become listing agents, and this can be modified for buying agents too. Again, I don't run a team, not yet at least. I go out into the world and I try to make business. So when I go meet somebody and I sit with them for an hour, um, if they're ready to sign, if they're ready to sell, I have a very high percentage of closing that person. So here's my very not techie whiteboard, everybody.
I like it. I like it. I think you brought a whiteboard to your the mastermind presentation too. So
Yes,
you're a
I
whiteboard
did.
queen.
I am not afraid to say that I am 48 years old. And so I grew up before cell phones. My first cell phone I received at my college graduation from my parents. And so I have the old school, but I also am, techie in the sense where I can use the technology. But as this morning, if it breaks, don't ask me to fix
So
it.
what do
All right.
you got there?
All right. So what I have here are things that I bring with me to a listing agreement. So obviously, um, I always dress to impress. People will always know that I mean, I enjoy dresses. So whatever, dresses, shoes, you name it. Bring a smile. A smile is super, super important. I'm gonna need to, I don't, it's hard to show this and think, okay, what I bring to a listing appointment. Everyone is gonna have a personalized listing folder. It's gonna include a one-page bio. So homework from this former teacher to you is to write a one-page bio about yourself. Include it. People want to know about you. People will do business with you because they like and trust you.
Yep.
Do a little bio for yourself. Number two, make sure you have all the listing agreement paperwork with you. Everything that they need, because at the end of that meeting, your hope is that they sign with you. And
Mhm.
if you don't have that present, then you lose an opportunity to sign. Branded marketing gifts. I invest in my business. Everything that I give out is going to be branded. So branded marketing gifts included. Right now I'm giving out pens. Oh, you need a pen to sign my listing agreement? Here you go. A thank you card. I write thank you cards religiously. Um, I think that's actually super important. No matter whether you sell one home or 100, it is very important to be grateful. You never know when that business can turn around. Even repeat business, say thank you. Of course, you should have a market analysis and your CMA, and a seller net sheet. People want to know how much will they bring. Um, I like to include my production sheet, and because it is impressive. I mean, right now I'm up to 80 something closed sales this year in 2025.
It's awesome.
Business cards, and as well as the business cards of my go-to vendors, such as the title company, if they're buying a home, your go-to lender. Important thing, smile and be.
I love that last question too, Janina. ABC, right? Always be closing. At least ask for the business.
Absolutely. Once you're done, um, you know, I always ask, how, first of all, I always ask people if it's not a referral, how did you find my name? How did you find my number? So recently, two clients who are my current clients told me that they chat GPT'd best agent or number one agent in Pasco County. And I came up as top searches.
Nice.
Make that three. Last night I got a call for an upcoming appointment. Same thing. I'm like, wow. I So Chat GPT is my new friend.
That's a good screenshot to grab and then post it on your social media channels, by the way. Just as a little tip. I've seen some people do that. It's kind of a cool little thing for sure. Um, a lot of great frameworks there. I love the frog framework you mentioned earlier, whether that's fully relying on God, which I completely agree with, and also the family, recreation, occupation, and goals framework, which is a great tool for just rapport building.
Mhm.
And so that's an easy thing to remember that I think can help somebody when they, some people are just naturally great at connecting and rapport building, others aren't. And so sometimes these frameworks can really help somebody know where to kind of guide the conversations. And then that whole checklist. One of the things I'm a big fan of is just the power of checklists, period, right? Having a system for anything important in your business, and a listing appointment would be considered pretty highly important for an agent. And so if you don't have like a simple checklist that you're prepared with before each and every single meeting, you just gave them what your checklist looks like. And I think, customizing that and having something that they can run with for their own business if they don't already have it is definitely a huge tip as well. So thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure. Are there any questions from the group?
I don't have any in the chat here right now. So we are live streaming this as well on our YouTube channel, which is a neat little experiment, and so far so good. As has been the case, this is recorded, and so the content of these calls will live in our school community, which you can join for free at www. By the way, that free is going away as of September 1st. So this is going to be free for now, but let's see. It's TPN School. I'll put it in the chat. That link right there, TPN for Top Producers Nation, school, SKOOL.com, will take you to the school community where this call with Janina, as well as all of our previous training calls, are recorded, and you can find that under the classroom tab in school. So this will be recorded. It is recorded and will be uploaded in there here in the near future. Is there anything else that you wanted to hit on before we wrap up today, Janina?
So one of the questions is, how do I do the amount of business that I do? I consider myself a very organized person. So I try to wrap up calls quickly. I will, and basically, um, organization really is key. I joke that my laundry might not be done, but my business is well organized. So it's important to be persistent and dedicated. For the people who love to go out and meet people, okay, so you have an open house. Let's go back to the open house. You're a new agent, you need business. You have an open house. Right after that open house, anyone who you've met who is not already associated with an agent, call them up. Thank you for for meeting me at this open house. If this home doesn't work for you, I can help you find another. You have to continually follow up with people. And I know that's something that I can also improve on too. I mean, everyone has ways to improve. So if so, my
We're going to help you with that a little bit too with our
yeah,
TPN marketing suite that we're onboarding you into. So
there
we
you
got some cool stuff to reveal for you.
All right. So I really did very much enjoy this. Thank you for the opportunity. Anyone who may want to reach out to me directly, my business cell phone is 727-888-3889. Happy to answer any questions. Like I said, I am an educator. I want to see you succeed. Genuinely, I want to see you succeed.
I appreciate your heart, Gina, and your willingness to not only be on this call, but our podcast and many of the other things that we have done over the last few years. I always enjoy hanging out with you and Esther and Tom at our events. So we appreciate your support there as well. And we look forward to seeing you at our next ones here coming up soon. So if you are able to take the test, the link is here in the chat. We also will post that link in the school where you'll find this video. There will be a link underneath the video. So if you wanted to take that personality test, which is free, there are some ads that you have to like click through. So just be aware of that and make sure you're not getting down a rabbit hole by clicking on the ads that are in the test in order to take the free version. But that is there. And then I also will include the link for the 4 different colors that we went over earlier. That link is also in this chat, but it'll also be in the school place to find this video. So thank you, Janina, for your support, and we will be seeing you at our next event. God bless.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.